Hi teachers, here is a screencast about some of the reports that IXL provides. I hope that this screencast will help you to use these IXL reports to drive your instruction, to figure out what needs to be retaught, which students are struggling, how to group your students for your personalized learning block, all kinds of things. The real transformative power of blended learning is when we use the data to make some changes and personalize learning. So there's a ton of things to explore in IXL reports, and I encourage you to set aside some time to explore this and find reports that you think will work best for you. There's still a lot of reports that I am still exploring, just tons of different options on how to analyze the data. Today I'm just going to show you some of my favorite things or things that I think will be most useful to you in starting out to analyze IXL reports. I will be putting a link on the Teacher Tools website where the screencast is, where you can fill out a form and give some suggestions for using IXL reports, and I will share that out with all teachers. So this is an opportunity for us to really work as a team and find some things that will really help us help our students. So the first thing that I want to show you on reports, so once you log into IXL, you'll see the reports tab at the top, and I'm sure a lot of you have looked at this. I just discovered this and I think it's super cool. Just in this little yellow box right here, it says have a question, IXL reports have the answer. And if you click here, you are going to see a whole list of questions. Basically, it's just reports phrased as questions. So you can click on any of these questions and it will just take you directly to the report that answers that question. So you'll still have to do some decoding to figure out how it answers that question, but it should just take you directly to that spot where you'll be able to find your answer, which I think is pretty cool. So definitely use that as you are exploring. Now I'm just going to show you again some of the things that I think will be most useful to you, and you can explore from there. It's just a jumping off point. So the first one is going to be under status update and class overview. And I'll show you that on every single report in IXL, there's these filters at the top of the page. So you can filter for a certain amount of time. You can set the dates exactly for what you want them to be. This is where you choose your class. I just have 2 test classes, 7th and 8th grade. Teachers will have 2 class colleges. You can choose which grade. Now this is the grade level that students are practicing in. So I put a bunch of 8th graders into my test classes, but they had been practicing a lot of what IXL defines as 7th grade skills. So just keep that in mind as you're filtering by grade. It's not necessarily the grade level your students are actually in, but the grade level that they've been practicing on. And then once you choose a grade, you'll be able to choose a category. So just so you know, that filter will show up on basically every report, so use that to your advantage. And if you're seeing some data that seems confusing, make sure that you've checked these filters to have the right parameters. Also, if you click up here on related reports, that just might be useful as you're doing exploring. It's the same questions that we just saw that are related to the report that you're on. If you click on last 5, it will show you the last 5 reports that you've looked at. Not sure why I don't have any history yet, but just be aware that that's a tool as well. This print icon is going to create a PDF. So even if you're not printing and you just want a PDF of this data, that's the way to get it, but you also can print. And this little arrow is to export to a CSV file. So if you want it in Excel and you want to be able to manipulate the data that way, you can just click on that little arrow. So I'm going to show you just at the bottom of this class overview report, lots of things between the top and the bottom that you can explore. But if you just want a really quick overview of how your class is doing, maybe what concepts you need to reteach, this is a great place. Now, any of these headings you can click on and it will filter according to that heading. I am going to filter by class average SMART score. And this is going to help me to know which of these skills we really need to work on. So obviously some of these, there just hasn't been a lot of practice, and that's why the SMART scores are so low. So you want to look at problems attempted and time spent to kind of compare. But I can just look and see what my class average SMART score is. You know, if it's this low, I probably need to reteach that specific skill. Again, the data in here right now is limited, so this will be more useful as you get more data in there. But I think that that's just a really quick, easy way to find out how my class or how your class is doing overall on a specific skill. So go to status update, class overview, and I want to make sure that's what it's called, and just filter by this class average SMART score so you can see on average how are my students doing on specific skills. So that's the first one that I want to show you that can help you to know how the whole class is doing. Now if you want to know how specific students are doing, maybe which students are struggling and how you should group students for personalized learning block, for different rotations, for reteaching, whatever it might be for enrichment, my suggestion, the simplest way for now that I know of, is to go here to performance and then go to skill proficiency at the very bottom. And again, you can see there's tons to explore there, so if you find a better way to do this, please let me know. But this is a nice quick way. So you're going to choose your skill up at the top and all your filters just like on any other page. And then if you, again, just sort by SMART score, then you can see which students are really struggling with this skill. So I can see these students are doing fine. Maybe I put them in a group to do some enrichment. Oh, I have a meeting coming up. Sorry about that. And I can see then where are my middle students, and then I can see which of my students really need some help, and those will be my students in red. You might want to check this time spent column. I'm not sure why there's so many dashes here. It might be because of the time filter that I have here. But if a student has a really low SMART score, but maybe they've only practiced for like 5 minutes, then I'm not going to be as worried as if they have a pretty low SMART score and they've practiced for 36 minutes. So make sure that you compare those against each other when you're doing this. But this is just a great way to see on a specific skill, how are students doing? How should I group them to be able to help them on a personalized level? So I'm also going to show you that it will tell you exactly how many questions were correct and incorrect, and you can click on these numbers and it's going to take us to a whole different report that's kind of cool. It's called problems received, and it's right here under usage. And you'll notice that within the reports there's different things that are clickable and they're just going to take you to other reports. So again, do some exploring and you'll realize that they're all connected. So I just clicked on what this student, Israel, had answered in that specific skill. And it takes me to this problem received report, which is going to tell me exactly what this student answered for each question. So I can really drill down here and I can see why a student got a certain question wrong if I really analyze this. I can also hide the correct answers and update my report, and then I can have Israel redo all of these incorrect answers. That might be a good way to reteach and to give students extra support, is to just have them look over the ones they got wrong and make some corrections. So you can print this out, and it's a worksheet that's totally personalized to the student because it's all of the questions that they got incorrect and that they can fix. So that's just a cool random thing as well. Another thing I want to show you is under status update again, class goals. I didn't know this existed and I think it's pretty cool. It could be an awesome activity to do with your students. There's these goals that you can set as a class. So how much time do you want your students to spend on IXL per day? How many problems attempted? How many skills do you want them to practice? And how many skills do you want to be completed at what score? You can set these to be whatever you want them to be. once you click Update Report, it will populate everything according to what you have set the goals to be. So this is just a nice way to see how students are doing according to what goals you have as a class. So you can think carefully about what those should be. Figure it out with your students. Have them give some input. And then this is a great place to go and look and see how you're doing on your goals, and you can share it with your students. Really quickly, I'm also going to show you news flashes. This is just a way that you can recognize students' progress. So just really quick, you can choose any student from this tab and then update the report. And then if you want to print, it will create this cool little certificate that you can print and put on your wall or have them send home. It's just a neat little tool, or have them bring home. Just a neat little tool if you want to give some positive reinforcement. So that's just another random thing that I just learned about and thought was pretty cool. Lastly, I want to show you trouble spots. So I think this is a great place to look, again, if you're trying to figure out what things need to be retaught, how to group students. So if you go to class trouble spots, then you'll be able to see which skills, so here's the skill number, most students are having trouble with. So you'll see here that there are 12 students needing improvement, and there are also 42 students who haven't even practiced it yet. So again, the data is a little bit skewed because we don't have a ton in there yet. This is just a great place for you to come and see which skills do I have the most kids in the red. And that just means they have a SMART score, I think, of under 60. So in general on IXL, students are considered proficient if they have 70 or above. They are considered mastered if they have 100. In some school-wide reports, the average for mastery is more towards 90, but in general, when you're looking at your reports and you're looking at proficient or mastered, it's 70 or 90 or 100, just so that you're aware. And I'm pretty sure anything under 60 is needs improvement. You can explore that, but that's what's going to show up here. So you're just going to get your skills that, notice that we're still in 7th grade skills because that's what's been practiced lately. You can filter with these different things. You're going to get skills that have the most students either not practicing or just in the red. So I can update the report without those students not practicing if I just want to know the students in the red. And then down here you'll see them all listed. And you can see the average SMART score and the number of students. This just comes from this chart, and I can click on each of these and it will take me to the actual skill proficiency report for that specific skill. So there you see how they're kind of all intertwined. Back in trouble spots, I just have a couple more minutes. You can also click on student trouble spots to see individuals. You choose a student from this drop-down menu, so I have 2 separate classes here, and I can see what are the needs improvement skills for this specific student, and I can sort of see where they need some extra help. Again, you can click on these numbers to go to that problems received report, so that you can see exactly what students answered, how they got it wrong, and maybe print it out and have them try again. So some other things to explore in trouble spots. I'll show you also underperforming students, which is based on a percentile. So you can change this percentile to whatever you'd like to show you, again, students that are struggling. You'll see these sort of bars in a lot of different IXL reports that will show you how many skills are mastered, how many are excellent, how many are satisfactory, I think, and how many need improvement. So this is just showing me all the students below the 50th percentile according to the entire class, and sort of breaks that down for me so that I can know who is struggling and quote-unquote underperforming. You can also see who's not participating very much as well over here. So that's just a really quick rundown on some of the IXL reports. Again, please explore, see what you can find. I've just given you the simplest tools to find out what your class needs and what specific students need or how they could be grouped. Please fill out the form and share the different things that you discover in IXL reports. And also remember that if you have a question, IXL reports probably have the answer, and this page can lead you to the report that will answer your question. So as always, let me know how I can help. Thanks for watching.